All right, once you've completed the previous video and you have everything set up, we're going to go to our sprites folder and we're going to click on our character. I called mine Sphere Boy right here. You should do the same for this first run through. And we're going to go to our sprite editor and we're going to change the mode that we're using our sprite editor. If it's too small right here, just sort of make it a little bit larger and change the sprite editor from sprite editor to skinning editor. You're going to see your PSB document here with all of its layers. If you ever get something sort of like a single thing highlighted, just double click into the transparent space over here. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to create a skeleton for this. So I'm going to click Create Bone. I'm going to create a little sort of anchor bone. This is our first bone. It's just going to make it kind of small right here. The second one is going to be big like so. Then I'm going to press Escape so that I can reconnect to this one to create my leg bones. So 1, 2, and then I'm going to add feet on this, foot bones on this one. And I'll press Escape again. I will reconnect to my anchor, and I'm going to go 1 right here, 2, and 3. So now if I press Escape, I have 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The number of the bones is kind of important for a future step. Now, first thing I'm going to do, or next thing I'm going to do is click Auto Geometry, and I'm going to click Generate for All Visible. The default setting should be fine. We're going to go ahead and hit Generate for All Visible, and you'll sort of see the color of the bone is sort of representing its influence. And so right now it's not exactly what we wanted, but I can start to see how I can sort of ragdoll that around. I'm going to hit Reset Pose, and I'm going to go to Auto Weights and Associate Bones, Generate All. After I do that, I'm going to go to Bone Influence, and if I click on this image right here, I really only want the first and second bone to influence this layer of my design. So I'm going to click on 6 and hit Subtract. I'll click on 3, hit Subtract. Then I'm going to click on the next layer right here, and I want 6, 7, 8. That is correct. And then on this one, I want 3, 4, and 5. All right, so now as I move this around, you can see it's going to behave a little bit better for me. I'll hit Reset Pose and then click Apply. All right, so now, once I have done that, once it processes and I exit out of the editor, you'll see in my Scenes view, when I click on Sphere Boy, I actually get to see the bones that I've created. And as I click on a bone and I adjust it, then you can see down in the game panel that it will adjust accordingly. And so I would need to move this bone up a little bit. If I click on this handle right up here, then I can move it sort of independently wherever I want, like so. All right, so now I have an animator on Sphere Boy, as you can see right here, but I have an entry point but no default animation to go to. So what I'm going to do is click on Sphere Boy. I'm going to go into my animation panel right here, and I'm going to create an animation, and I'm going to put it into my animation folder, and I'm going to call this, what am I going to call this? I'm going to call this the name of the character, Sphere Boy, and then idle. All right, I'll hit Save like so. So now you can see that my entry point is going to take me to this first animation right here. And if I go to Scenes right here, what I have the ability to do is to adjust the bones while recording. All right, so at second 0, when I hit record, I can sort of reposition, him right here, and it'll add in a little keyframe showing me what I have moved. And if I go, let's say, to point, let's go 30 frames ahead, and I just move it right into here, and then I'm going to click right here and copy it. I'm going to go another 30 frames to 1 second, and I'll paste where I started from. If I press play, you can see it's just going to sort of bounce back and forth, waiting for me to do something. I'm going to hit play to stop that. If I use my scroll wheel, I can see more of my timeline. And if I wanted to, I could click at the top of the keyframes of the first and the last here, and I can drag this all out, and it's going to proportionally move. So if I want to make that like a 2-second idle with record still playing, then you can see I can create this sort of subtle movement back and forth. So I'll hit stop right there. Stop recording, and I'll hit stop. And so now, if I were to press play, you'll see in my game panel that animation is mapped in the animator controller, And so my little sphere boy character is going to just sort of sway back and forth, as you can see right here. Now, as I'm looking at this, I can tell that my box collider isn't exactly set up properly. So I'm going to edit this one right here, and I should see him drop down a little bit. So if you have to make those changes, then you can go ahead and do that. I was in the play mode, so I'm going to have to do it one more time. All right, so now I need to create a walking animation. So I'm going to click on Sphere Boy, go to my animation panel again, and I'm going to create a new clip, and this is going to be called Sphere Boy underscore walk or run. Make sure that it goes into your animation folder. Hit save. And so now I need to sort of think about what does a walk look like. I've made it easy for us. We've omitted arms, so we have 2 less appendages and 4 total joints less that we need to worry about. I'm going to hit my right button or my record button, and I'm basically just going to sort of pivot the leg up, but sort of think about what a walk would look like. One leg up. All right, so that's my first position, and then the next position is going to be right in here. So I sort of advance probably about to 15 frames right in there. And now as I move this down and over right in here, and then this leg comes up like, if you make a mistake, you can always press Command Z, zoom in if you need to be a little bit more precise. All right, so now you can see here's that first step. All right, that first step like so. I'm going to go ahead another 15 frames. You can adjust these, of course, at any point later. And this leg would go out a little bit further. This leg would come back like so. Let's sort of take a look at that. Stepping, and then another 15 frames forward, and we're going to swing this leg back down, this leg pivots forward like so. So we're going walk forward, step, put it down, and we want to end in the same place that we started. So we'll click right here and go to another 15 frames forward, and wrong button, and we'll paste that in there. So now let's see, as I play that, it's not the smoothest walk. Walking does take some time to figure out and get the hang of, but I can hit record right here to stop the recording, because at least it demonstrates what I want to show. All right, so now what I need to do is I need to go to my animator right here. I need to create the transition. So I want to go from idle to walk when the condition is true. So now our script is controlling the move and jump Boolean. And so I'm going to add move is true, and I want to do this immediately. So I want 0 exit time, I want 0 transition. So uncheck that right there. So when move is true, then it goes. And then right here, I'm going to again transition with no exit time when move is false. All right, so that'll take me back to idle. So let's see what happens when I press play. It's going to process, it's going to think for a little bit. I'm asking a lot of my computer, recording and doing game design at the same time. Hopefully the fan isn't too loud, but here we are. I start off idling, and then my script allows me to move. When I'm done moving, I go back to my idle, as you can see, like so. All right, the process would be the same for creating a jump. You would go click on your Sphere Boy. You would go to your animation panel. You would create a new animation. Make sure that you're saving it to your animation folder. And we're going to call it Sphere Boy Jump, like so. And use our scene panel right here. And for my jump, I'm going to start right here. I'm just going to move it a little bit just so it starts to record. And then his jump is going to basically just be, looking up like this. And I'll have the feet sort of come back like this. And done recording. And now if I go to my animator, I've got my jump. And if I'm idling, I can go to my transition when jump is true. I don't want any transition or exit time or duration. And then I want to be able to go back to my idle in the same or similar way. Oops, sorry. In a similar way, I want my transition when jump is false. No transition, no exit time. There we go. And now if I go to the game panel, one other thing that I need to do on my jump animation, I need to uncheck loop animation because I don't want it to sort of bounce, 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 bounce. I want it to get to the one spot, as you'll see right here. All right, so now I've got my little guy here, and it's processing, thinking. And now it starts with the idle, and when I jump, there it goes. All right, looks like I messed up my idle animation, so I'll have to go back and fix that. Notice his foot is a little bit out of whack. So if that happens, all you need to do is click on your character, go to the animation panel, look at your idle, go to your scene right here, and it looks like I just sort of moved his leg in the wrong spot. So right in here. All right, let's try that one more time. There we go. Let's record that. That's what I want it to be. And we're done.